I'm not going to see
So I just happened to there's a lot of times there's one that
Hey everyone, we're going to get started here in just a minute. If you all want to go ahead and find your seats, we'll go ahead and start. I now call this meeting of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association Student Senate to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, one moment.
I want to begin our Student Senate meeting taking place on Thursday, March 24th, 2022 with a land acknowledgement. We recognize that Kansas State University, as the first land-grant institution, stands on the ancestral lands of the Kaw people. Our state of Kansas is home to 4 federally recognized Native nations: the Iowa, Kickapoo, Prairie Band Potawatomi, and Sac and Fox. We must remember that the land serving as the foundation for this institution was and still is stolen land acquired by white settlers. We pledge our commitment to creating decolonized spaces at the university while advocating for the support and future success of Indigenous faculty, staff, and students at K-State. And with that, we'll move into first roll call with Speaker Pro Tem Saya.
Thank you so much, Blake. I'm really excited to get this term started. First, Anderson.
Here.
Atchison.
Here.
Bannister.
Here.
Barron.
Here.
Bellamy.
Here.
Bratton.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Byrne. Compton.
Here.
Cranford. Davidson.
Here.
DePaz.
Here.
Dahl.
Here.
Getz.
Here.
Grills.
Here.
Grolmez.
Here.
Heatherman. Hoffman.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Calaricchio.
Here.
Kidd.
Here.
Lister. Long.
Here.
Lynn.
Here.
McPhee. Middaugh.
Here.
Murphy.
Here.
Navarro.
Here.
Ori.
Here.
Pelton.
Here.
Pineda Gomez.
Here.
Pondillo.
Here.
Porter.
Here.
Richenberg.
Here.
Rogers.
Here.
Roth.
Here.
Salman.
Here.
Alexis Shearer.
Here.
Carson Shearer.
Here.
Schundler.
Here.
Stout.
Here.
Talbert.
Here.
Volgamore.
Here.
Wolfe.
Here.
Alrighty, thanks everyone. We've got 39.
Alrighty, with that, we will go ahead and move into first open period. And Advisor Ferris, I know you wanted to speak in first open period.
Hello, everyone. One, I'm super excited to be the first open period speaker of this first term. New term, first for many of you. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Kelly Ferris. I am the director for the Center for Student Involvement and the advisor to Student Senate. One of about 8 advisors to SGA in the many parts. I'm the weird old lady who sits in the front of the room, so don't be afraid of me. Come chat, say hello, whatever. My office is located in the Center for Student Involvement, Office 112. It's the one that's at the way back corner. You oftentimes won't even realize that I'm there, so come by, come say hello. I wanted to take a moment, in addition to introducing myself to those of you who are new, so you can get familiar with me and who I am. I also wanted to take a moment, since thanks to the snow day on March 10th, which also happened to be my birthday, we did not get to have our normal banquet for SGA, but I wanted to take a moment and thank Blake and Nick and Ari for sticking on through this transition. Blake will get to hand it over today, but Nick and Ari in a couple of additional weeks. And thanking all 3 of them for also helping get all of our new senators onboarded. So if we can just take one quick second and give all 3 of them a round of applause. So yes, I also just want to, I know Blake started it, our new senator training, by having you sit by someone new. This will be my recommendation to you every single SGA Senate, is to come in and sit by someone new. Get to meet as many people in this room as you can, because the more people you know in this room, the better your conversations, the better your debates will go, and the better the work will be as you move forward throughout your term. So take that moment, step away, get to meet someone new, sit by someone different, and get to know everyone that's in the room. I'm excited to work with you all. Welcome.
Awesome. Thank you all, thank you very much, Kelly. All right. Are there any further speakers tonight for first open period? Seeing none, we will now move into installation of all of our new positions this year. So this is where we're going to be swearing all of you in. But first, we get to start with the student body president. So President Dowd, if you will come forward with President-elect Volgamore, we will go ahead and administer the oath of office.
Hey.
Hope you're ready.
All right. So at the very end, you'll say, I do. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Student Body President and, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association.
I will.
Yeah, I messed that up. Oops.
Parker, really quick, you get to introduce yourself to the body. If you want to do name, major, hometown, favorite smell.
Okay, very good. Good. Okay. Hey, everyone. My name's Parker Volgamore. Good to see everyone. Lots of new faces here. This is awesome. So my hometown is Scott City, Kansas, out in western Kansas. My major is agricultural economics, pre-law. And then as the traditional SGA greeting, my favorite smell would have to be the fresh cup of Pike Place roast, the Starbucks blend. So a cup of black coffee in the morning. But yeah, I think that's about it. So
Awesome. Thank you very much, Parker. All right, next, Cameron, Vice President Koger and Vice President-elect Ebeck, if you all will come forward.
You're going to say I will.
I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Student Body Vice President and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of Kansas State University Student Governing Association.
I will.
Perfect. So I have to say this, but what's whipping Wildcats? I am Jeff Ebeck. I am a junior studying finance, and I'd probably say my favorite smell is funnel cakes.
Where are you from?
I'm from Roseville, Kansas.
What are
Tiny
your
town.
pronouns?
He, him.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Jeff. Round of applause, everyone. All right, Senate, now it's your turn. So we're not going to do you all at once. That's going to take a while to introduce everyone. We're going to go by college so we can get enough enough room in a picture so that we can get you all. So we are going to go ahead and start with agriculture. If you're a new senator for the College of Ag, please come down front. Alrighty, welcome up everyone. So if you go ahead and raise your right hand and say I will at the end. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Student Senator and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association.
I will.
Awesome. Introductions for all of you.
Awesome. Well, my name is Bryce Atchison. I am a junior in agricultural economics and global food systems leadership. I am from Tonganoxie, Kansas, and my favorite smell is silage.
Yeah.
Hey guys, my name's Clay Pelton. I'm from Paradise, Kansas, up there north of Hayes. I'm majoring in animal science, biotechnology, and I'd have to say my favorite smell is the morning after a nice rain.
My name's Kyle Dahl. I'm from Garden City, Kansas. I'm an ag tech management major with a precision ag focus, and my favorite smell is probably coffee.
I'm Paige Volgamore. I'm ag econ major. I'm from Scott City, Kansas, and my favorite smell is evergreen trees.
Hey, I'm Tate Anderson. I'm a sophomore, animal science major, and my favorite smell is freshly cut grass.
My name is Caleb Stout. I'm a sophomore studying agricultural economics pre-law. I'm from Cottonwood Falls, Kansas, and my favorite smell would have to be saddle leather.
Awesome. Congratulations, everyone. Oh, hold on just one sec. All right, up next, we will have arts and sciences.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you all very much. Arts and sciences, if you'll go ahead and come down front. Also, I'm going in alphabetical order if you hadn't guessed. If I forget a college, please let me know. Alrighty, everyone. If you'll raise your right hand and say I will at the end. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Student Senator and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association. Awesome. Same thing for you all.
Hi, friends. My name is Rachel Grolmus. My pronouns are she, her. I am from, what? Oh, her. Yes, thank you. I'm from Topeka, Kansas. My major is communication studies, and my favorite smell is lavender.
Hi, I am Joseph Pondillo from Lawton, Oklahoma. I go by he, him. My major is political science, and my favorite smell would have to just be like a wood candle. I don't know.
Hi, I'm Alexis Shearer. I'm a political science major. My pronouns are she, her. And my hometown's Topeka, Kansas. And I gotta say my favorite smell is like the cold, like a cold day. Yeah.
Like today? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Bentley Talbert. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. He, him. I'm a political science major, pre-law. And my favorite smell is fresh linen.
I'm Kennedy Getz. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska, majoring in political science and journalism. And my favorite smell is probably Taco Bell.
My name is Ariana O'Donohue. I'm from Olathe, Kansas. My pronouns are she, they. And my favorite smell would probably be an old bookstore. Oh, my major is political science and pre-law.
Yeah.
And English literature.
Hi, everyone. I'm Evan Porter, pronouns he, him. I am from Olathe, Kansas, studying political science, and my favorite smell right now is probably coffee.
Howdy, my name is Andrew Navarro, he, him. I'm from Leawood, Kansas. I'm a political science major, pre-law designation. And my favorite smell would have to be a 10-piece KFC chicken bucket.
Hola, my name is Jacob Hoffman. I am a political science and economics major. My pronouns are he, him. From Baldwin City, Kansas. And favorite smell is rain in the forest.
Hi, my name is Jake Brown. I'm a history major, pre-law. I'm from a little town called Weston, Missouri, and my personal pronouns are he, him, and my favorite smell is pine.
Hello, I'm Marta Richenberg. I am a junior studying history and political science from Kansas City, Missouri, and I go by she, her. And I always pick a Disney World smell because I'm a Disney adult. Yeah. So I'm going to choose probably this time the Haunted Mansion ride has a really nice smell. So that's it.
Awesome. If you'll stay put for just a second, Ashley will get a picture of you. But congratulations, everyone. We can do a round of applause really quick. All right, next up is going to be the College of Business.
I just understand really far away. Yeah, Ashley!
Yeah. Awesome. Congratulations. Business, if you'll come down front next. Do I want to what? Oh, yes. Sorry. If you are on Zoom, yeah, Kate, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, you're good.
Hi, my name is Kate Thomas. I'm a political science and history double major from Kansas City, Missouri. I use she, her pronouns, and my favorite scent is lavender.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Yes, if you're on Zoom, please, while we do the oath of office and to introduce yourself, go ahead and just unmute and we will get you on there. So, College of Business, if you'll raise your right hand and say I will at the end. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Student Senator and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association. Awesome.
Hi, my name is Allie Wolfe. I'm from Leawood, Kansas. My major is marketing, and my favorite scent is probably grapefruit.
Hi, my name is Summer Murphy. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. My pronouns are she, her, and my favorite smell is bread.
Hello, hello. I'm Will Bannister. I'm from Manhattan, Kansas. I'm in my second year of school, and that's kind of irrelevant because the stand-ins don't make much sense for me because I am a pre-law major. Well, pre-law, emphasis. Emphasis or major, have we ever determined that? Because if we're honest, pre-law is kind of a... just a... Anyway, I'm actually majoring in economics and finance and entrepreneurship, and I have a minor in leadership studies. And my favorite scent is bleach.
Hi, my name is Alex DePaz. I'm from Garden City, Kansas. I am majoring in finance. My favorite smell, I have two actually, is diesel and manure. I don't think if you know where you're from, like if you're in Southwest Kansas, that's all you smell, like is manure. But that's the cool thing, because manure equals money. Oh, my pronouns are he and him.
I can't top any of this, guys. My name's Ashley Grills. I am she, her pronouns. I'm from Overland Park, Johnson County. Woo! Yeah!
Let's go.
I'm studying human resources and sales, and my favorite scent has not changed. Mango candle, pretty specific.
Awesome, very nice, everyone. Picture, round of applause, everyone. All right, College of Engineering, you'll be up next.
Ah, what a good looking group. Stay there, please.
Awesome. Thank you all very much, College of Engineering. Alrighty, same rules apply, everyone. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Student Senator and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association.
I will.
Awesome. Juan, kick us off.
Hi, everybody. My name is Juan Pineda Gomez. I'm a sophomore studying biomedical engineering, coming at you from Lenexa, Kansas. Go Joko. And my favorite scent, for debating this, probably has to be a medium rare steak.
I'm Tatiana Rogers. I'm also biomedical engineering. I'm from Leawood, Overland Park, Kansas. Either way, sweet home Johnson County. And I like the smell of York peppermint patties.
Continuing the Johnson County trend, my name is Jacob Long. I'm studying construction science management. My pronouns are he, him. I'm from Johnson County as well, or Olathe even. And my favorite smell is a mocha.
Hey guys, my name is Zach Davidson. I'm also from Johnson County, Overland Park. I'm a freshman studying electrical engineering, and my favorite smell, it's gotta be buttered popcorn.
Hey, my name's Tommy Compton. You're not going to believe this. I'm from Overland Park, Johnson County as well. I'm a sophomore studying biomedical engineering. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I would say that my favorite smell is well-grilled chicken breast.
Hey guys, I'm Jack Johnson. Believe it or not, I'm also from Johnson County, Lenexa, Kansas. I'm a junior in industrial engineering, and my favorite smell is probably fresh cut grass.
Finish it off, Josh. Come on, Todd.
Hey everybody, my name is Josh Barron. My pronouns are he, him. I am studying computer science and physics. I am from Olathe, Kansas. Also in Johnson County. And my favorite smell is vanilla.
Really quick on Zoom, Dakota, are you from Johnson County?
I am. I'm from So I'm Dakota Broughton. I'm technically a sophomore. I'm kind of taking the semester off. I'm still enrolled, but not really here. I live in Wisconsin right now. But I am a junior in chemical engineering, and my favorite smell is spruce, the kind you get from Bath and Body Works.
Awesome. Thank you all very much. If you'll pose for a picture, and then we will have graduate school up next. Is it not? Education. Sorry, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you all. All right, Ed Cats, come on down front. Alrighty, everyone. If you'll raise your right hand and say I will at the end. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Student Senator and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association. Awesome.
Alrighty, hi everyone. I'm Drew Bellamy. I am a secondary education major with an emphasis in English. I am from Olathe, Kansas. Hell yeah. And my favorite smell is key lime pie.
Hi, my name's Peyton Lynn. I'm a sophomore in secondary education with an emphasis in speech and theater. I'm from Tonganoxie, Kansas. Yeah. And my favorite smell today is I'm using this new coconut deodorant, and that one smells pretty good.
I'm Ben Roth. I'm from Heston, Kansas, majoring in secondary education with an emphasis in business. And my favorite smell is baseball season.
Awesome. Oh, picture time. Thank you all very much. Round of applause. Graduate school, I got you next.
Yay, thank you.
All righty. Only a couple more to go, everyone. Alrighty, if you'll raise your right hand and say "I will" at the end. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Student Senator and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association.
I will.
Awesome. There you go.
Hi, my name is Carson Shearer. I'm from Topeka, Kansas. I'm a graduate student in landscape architecture, and my favorite smell is Pinot Noir.
Hey guys, my name is Corin Asley, and I'm graduating this fall with my bachelor's in political science. And then I'm starting my master's next fall in public administration. I'm from small town Sabetha, Kansas, northeast of here, and my favorite smell is. So, like, you know when you go to, like, Dillon's or something, and there's, like, the bread section, and it just hits you? Yeah, that's my favorite smell.
Awesome. Good evening, everyone. My name is Marcus Kidd. I am a fifth-year doctoral student in the College of Education graduate program, so I've been here for a long time. I started CITIT back in 2010, and I took a few years off to get a master's degree, so this will be like my 9th or 10th time going through installation. So, yes. Exciting stuff. So he, him pronouns for me. I am from Manhattan, Kansas, born and raised, and my favorite smell, to be different, I just started subscribing to Dr. Squatch soap. You might have seen the commercials on TikTok, and my favorite scent is no, it's Gold Moss. So, yes, thank you, everyone.
Alrighty, hello everyone. My name is Aaron Middaugh. I'm a master's student in modern languages. Pronouns he, him. I'm from Shawnee, Kansas. And my favorite smell is incoming rain.
We have incoming and after. I love it. Awesome. Health and Human Sciences is our last one tonight.
Thank you.
Ooh. HHS, come down front.
Yes.
Alrighty. If you'll go ahead and raise your right hand and say "I will" at the end. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Student Senator and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association.
I will.
Awesome. All right.
Hello, everyone. My name is RJ Salman. I am a sophomore in personal financial planning at K-State with minors in queer studies and leadership studies. I use he, they pronouns. I'm from Olathe, Kansas, and my favorite smell, as of someone mentioning it earlier, is buttered popcorn. I have a bag almost every night.
Hi, you guys. My name is Jodi Calaricchio. I'm from Garden City, Kansas. I'm currently a freshman, and I'm studying nutritional science, pre-med designee. My favorite smell would probably be like chocolate chip cookies. I bake a lot.
Hi everybody, I'm Mia Schundler. I filled a vacancy a couple months ago, so you might recognize me being up here. And I'm a family and consumer sciences education major with a minor in leadership studies, and I'm also in the nonprofit program in leadership school. My favorite smell is campfire, and I'm going totally out of order. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I think that's all of them.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Oury. I'm a sophomore here in Health and Human Sciences. You already know that. I'm studying personal financial planning, getting a minor in sales. My pronouns are he, him, and my favorite smell, well, actually a campfire on a summer night.
Very nice. And really quick on Zoom, Madeira.
Okay, hi. My name's Madeira Lister. I'm from Spearfish, South Dakota. I'm studying kinesiology and gerontology, pre-physical therapy. What else? Favorite smell is flowers or anything floral.
Oh yeah, thank you very much, Madeira. Awesome picture for you all. And then round of applause to everyone. That rounds out our installation for the night.
Oh my god, it's not working.
All right, thank you all so much for that. This does not happen every meeting. This is a one-time thing, so don't expect to be sitting there for this long every meeting. But thank you all for doing that. We will go ahead and move into approval of the minutes for the night. So the minutes were distributed to you all along with this week's agenda. Are there any questions or corrections for the minutes? Seeing none, I will seek a motion to approve the minutes. Senator Atchison.
I move to approve the minutes. Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the minutes will now stand approved. We will go ahead and move into announcements for the week. So first, welcome everyone. You can expect to have Student Senate every week on Thursday nights, with the exception of 3 times, and that is the first week of classes, dead week, and finals week. So every other week we'll have Student Senate. It won't occur over any breaks like spring break, summer break, Thanksgiving break, whatever the case may be. But you can expect to have that on your calendars there. Next, we have our SGA attendance policy. Right below that, please take a moment to review that, as well as our Zoom policy right below. Next, we have a lot of different applications open for next year, so please take a look at those if you're interested. We have our Chief of Staff application. They serve right underneath the student body president and vice president, and are in charge of the cabinet at the bottom of that, who represent various areas across campus and work to achieve the platforms that the student body president and vice president ran on. Additionally, in the middle there, we have our Senate Executive Committee applications and independent positions. Those include all of our committee chairs, parliamentarian, communications director, and our intern coordinator. So if you're interested in those, please click that link there. Next, our student tickets are available for football, basketball, or football and men's basketball. Passes are $200 for both of these. You can add ICAP for an additional $40 or $170 for individual sports. If you purchase an ICAP membership by the end of the week, you're going to get a replica football jersey at the beginning of next year, so that's super cool. And additionally, we have a new basketball coach. We had our introductory press conference today, so lots to be excited about in athletics next year. I have a couple of announcements that didn't make the agenda that I got after. The Open and Alternative Textbook Initiative is looking for a student representative to be able to kind of go over that and participate in that review. So I have a link that I'll be sending out later if you're interested in that. And then the last announcement that I had, I don't have pinned, but I will get that out to you all. So our proxies for the night, we have Richenberg for Thomas, Salman for McPhee, and Lynn for Banhart. And then we have our Zoom information, or our Zoom request form down there, our Senate shout out form there as well. And then our SGA member of the week this week is our, I guess now former, Legislative Director Logan Cohn. Logan has been hard at work this year planning our trips to Waco, Texas for the Big 12 SGA Conference, K-State Day on the Hill in Washington, D.C., and Kansas Higher Ed Day in Topeka. Thank you for your long hours and for helping our members advocate for other students. If we can get a round of applause for Logan. Alrighty, our upcoming events for the next week. Every Monday at 11:59 p.m. is our legislation deadline, and we'll be going over that, or how to submit legislation here pretty soon. But that deadline is Mondays at 11:59 p.m. Student Senate will be on Thursday, and then applications are due that Friday, April 1st at 11:59. Finally, our quote of the week this week: in the end, you get what you deserve. The amount of effort you put in determines the amount of joy you receive. And that is by Leon Brown. With that, we will go ahead and move into commendations for the night. And first up, we have Resolution 1. Is there a motion to consider? Senator Porter.
I move to consider Resolution 1. Second.
It has been moved and seconded to consider Resolution 1. Will the author please come forward?
Thank you, Speaker Phillips. All right. Resolution 222301, Commendation to Coach Bruce Weber, by Cameron Coger, sponsored by Cole Schreier and Blake Phillips. Whereas on March 31st, 2012, Bruce Weber, referred to as Coach Weber, was named head men's basketball coach at Kansas State University. Whereas Coach Weber coached K-State to win 2 regular season Big 12 championships, their first 2 titles since 1977. Whereas Coach Weber was named Big 12 Coach of the Year in 2013. Whereas Coach Weber coached K-State to the Elite Eight, a feat that had only been accomplished 12 times in school history. Whereas Coach Weber helped several K-State players reach the NBA and other professional basketball leagues during his tenure. Whereas Coach Weber was active on campus volunteering to help work the K-State Proud Table. Whereas Coach Weber cared about student experience at the games and would often donate food to the student section. Whereas during his tenure, Coach Weber served on the NCAA Ethics Committee, ensured that K-State was ran with integrity, and whereas during his tenure, Coach Weber helped numerous student athletes obtain their degree. Be it resolved that Section 1, the Kansas State University Student Governing Association commends Bruce Weber for his time as men's basketball coach and wishes him the best going forward. Section 2, upon passage of this legislation, the Student Senate body shall collectively shout Bruce with a prolonged emphasis on the U sound, as was customary by fans during his tenure. Section 3, upon passage by the Student Senate and signature of the Student Body President, a copy of this resolution shall be sent to Coach Bruce Weber, all members of the Kansas State University men's basketball team and coaching staff, Athletics Director Gene Taylor, University President Richard Linton, Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlesby, Carl and Mary Ice, and Tom Izzo.
All right, are there any questions or corrections for the author? Seeing none, I will now seek a motion to approve this resolution unanimously. Senator Long.
I move to approve this resolution unanimously. Second.
All right, it has been moved and seconded to approve Resolution 1 unanimously. Are there any objections? Seeing none, Resolution 1 will stand approved. We'll do a round of applause, and then we'll do the Bruce. Three. Right, you got it, Cameron.
Oh, we gotta get a video.
I gotta make sure people know SGA is fun.
For the final time, folks, Bruce.
Alrighty, thank you all very much for that. With that, we will go ahead and move into directors' reports for the night. Are there any directors who would like to give a report? President Vogelmore.
Hello again, everyone. Just a real quick update from your newly installed executive branch. So first off, thank you, congratulations, everyone. There's a lot of new faces out here in the Senate body, which is awesome to see. So I had the awesome opportunity to serve in the Senate the last 2 years, so I just truly, sincerely want to thank you all for your dedication and your service to this university. It's awesome, and it's great to see. Also, just to introduce real quickly for those of you that don't know us to this new body, myself, Parker Vogelmore, and Jeff, we're very excited to work with you all. One thing we want to truly prioritize through our administration is cohesive interbranch collaboration. So we want to work closely with you all. We will be here working with you during Senate meetings. We'll be providing updates and are really, really excited to see what this body and student government accomplishes over the next year and over the next term. So with that, like I said, I'd like to keep it short, so I'll close up just real quickly with an update from our applications, our cabinet info, and just the executive branch. So tonight, just to plug you all real quickly, tonight our chief of staff applications close. So if that is something you've been interested in, please come talk to Jeff and I. We'd be glad to have a conversation, chat about that. But otherwise, those applications close with selections to take place this Sunday. Following next week is when on Friday our cabinet applications will close. So if any of you who are looking or interested in some of those positions, those applications are next Friday, and those selections will take place on Sunday. So otherwise, that's about all we've been going through. It's been an awesome experience getting transitioned into our new roles, kind of drinking from a fire hose, but it's been really cool. And we've got I think we're in a unique situation this year where we're almost like 2 weeks ahead of schedule where we typically are. So there's a lot of opportunity to really strategically plan and think about how this next semester is going to go, what we're looking for within our culture of our administration, but really just SGA as a whole. So we're really excited to see what's coming up through this semester and through the next year. And as always, please feel free to reach out to Jeff or I if you have any questions, particularly regarding applications and cabinet and all of that through the next week or so. So look forward to working with you all again, and thanks. I think that's all we had.
Awesome. Thank you very much, President Vogelmore. Are there any further directors tonight who would like to give a report? Seeing none, I have one. I'll take the podium. Okay, I have a few things for you all tonight. So first, if you look around the room, you may see some people wearing these fancy, awesome, really cool pins. That's our SGA logo on there, and we have more of those pins. I did an order for these last year during our last Senate term, and if you would like to have an SGA pin, you are more than welcome to. All I ask is that you Venmo me $3 because I had to pay $300 to pay for these up front, unfortunately. But if you're interested in that, hit me up after Senate. I'll be around after Senate. I won't be in here, but I'll be around. Go ahead and hit me up, and I can get you one of those pins, and they'll be available throughout the year as well. So you'll have that to look forward to. Additionally, really quick, I'm going to take some of my director's report to do this. I forgot to swear in one person. Hannah, if you want to come down front, I'll swear you in.
Well, she is. Just letting y'all know.
All right, Hannah, if you'll raise your right hand and say I will at the end. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Student Senator and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association.
I will.
Awesome.
You do so much for a person, and they just forget about you. My name's Hannah Heatherman. This is my fourth time, I guess, being sworn into SGA in different capacities. I serve as the student life appointee to Student Senate, and I work as a financial budget analyst in the CFO office in Anderson. My favorite smell is Dreft, which is baby laundry detergent. It smells awesome. I don't want kids anytime soon, though. Just saying. And my pronouns are she, her. I'm from Ottawa, Kansas.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Hannah. Hannah actually also used to serve as Speaker of the Student Senate. So if you have any more questions about that position specifically, putting you on the spot, Hannah, feel free to ask her as well. She would be able to provide a lot of insight on that. And so the final thing that I want to talk about today is those speaker elections. And I'm going to go over really quick, because the next thing on our agenda are the speaker elections, how that's going to work. So as soon as we get done with director's reports, I am going to open up the floor for nominations. Any student can be nominated for Speaker of the Student Senate. You can nominate yourself, or someone can nominate you. Each nomination does require a second. And so once someone has been nominated, I'm going to pick on Nick. If I wanted Nick to be the next speaker, I would say, I nominate Senator Saya to be Speaker of the Student Senate. You just have to be recognized by the speaker first. Someone would second that. And then, Nick, would you like to accept the nomination to be speaker?
No.
So you're given the opportunity to accept or decline, and this will continue until nominations are exhausted or a motion is made to close the floor for nominations. I'll ask for that motion no matter what, just so it's official, and we'll do a hand vote in order to close the floor for nominations. But that period will last, and nominations will continue. Once nominations conclude, all of the people who have accepted nominations for speaker will come down front. I will talk to them just a little bit about the position, about the rules for what's going to happen next. And we're going to randomly choose an order for them to speak. I'm just going to pull up a little randomized list thing, and it's going to randomly choose the order in which they're going to speak. Once that happens, all candidates will leave the room, and only the person who is speaking will be in the room with you all. They will then have 10 minutes to present to you all why they think they should be the next speaker of the Student Senate. And once they are done with that, you will have the opportunity to ask them questions. And this period can be extended. It starts with 5 minutes, but you all are more than welcome to extend this period of time. The way that you do that is our parliamentarian will call time, and then I will say time for questions has expired. Is there a motion to extend? Someone will raise their placard and say, I move to extend time for questions by 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever the case may be. That requires a second, and then time is extended. So once that happens, we will keep going through candidates until they're done. And once every candidate has given their speech, we will begin debate. So every candidate will have the opportunity for people to speak on their behalf. So for example, say that Nick had accepted his nomination, I would be able to give debate on why I think that Nick should be the Speaker of the Student Senate. And that will continue on through all of the candidates. Same rules as legislation. This continues until either debate is just exhausted or after at least 5 calls for each speaker, the motion for the previous question passes. So I will, that is how that works. As soon as debate is over, I will send out a link to you all for voting. In which case you will pick who the next Speaker of the Student Senate is going to be. That's a blind ballot. I will be able to see up front the total votes, and we'll let voting go for about 5 minutes just to make sure we get everyone's votes in. If no candidate reaches a majority, we will eliminate the bottom candidates to get to 2. Once we are at 2 candidates, we will have another round of debate for those candidates, and then we will vote again, and then someone will have a majority at that point in time. Are there any questions at all about that process specifically? Please feel free to ask. It's a semi-confusing process, but I'll try to walk you all through it as best as I can. Yes, would someone like to defer their speaking rights to Andrew Booz? Yeah, you have Andrew.
Is there anything that requires us to eliminate, if there's, say, 4 candidates, is there anything that requires us to eliminate both of the bottom 2, or could we just eliminate one?
So it's both, I believe. We get it down to 2, and then we continue on from there, is how that process works.
I don't believe that there is, and so we could do something like instant runoff, but like repeated, so.
Well, it is specified in the governing docs how we do that, unfortunately. Love the IRB, though.
we can discuss it.
Yeah. Any other questions out there? Okay, last thing. As soon as the new Speaker of the Student Senate is chosen, they will be sworn in, and it is their meeting. So whoever you all choose, they take over tonight, and that'll be the end of me. So, yeah, Hannah's excited. Cool. So unless there are any questions, I will go ahead and take back over, and we will begin the process of choosing the next Speaker of the Student Senate. Parliamentarian O'Donoghue.
I'm so sorry. I tried to get your attention before you went up to speak. I had a little announcement that I talked to you about. Remember?
Yes, go for it.
So sorry to keep y'all in suspense before we get on to the meat of the night. But if you are an old senator, you may not be very happy with me for a specific reason. That being, I haven't gotten y'all shirts yet. Well, exciting update about that. If you'll give me 1 second. Blake's inbox is a nightmare.
Ooh, not that one.
Not that one. There it is. Okay, so we had to change the color of the shirt. Some of you might be seeing this for the first time. These are the colors that we went with. However, I was able to get us comfort colors, which is a new update, in the short sleeve. So it's really soft. Would recommend. However, if you just don't want a shirt anymore because it's changed so much, there is a refund option. Please feel free to fill that out, and I'll take you to all the information you need. If you have any questions, you can contact me privately. Also, if you haven't gotten a shirt and would like a shirt, I'm sending this out anyway after Senate, so just fill out that form. Yes, Austin.
Can you forward that link to me? I don't have access to these things anymore.
I sure can. I'm actually going to send it to the old Senate inbox, so everyone should get it who is an old Senate. Yes, Ashley.
You might have already answered this, but so let's say we bought one thing, would we automatically get I don't know, but that, everything's different prices. Can you explain that? Like if we already paid.
Yes, everything should, if you got something individually, everything should still be the same price. I did not raise or lower any prices. However, if you would like to still keep your item, if you don't want to contact me privately, there is also an option for you to just go through and say that I already paid, and then I'll just keep that on my little Excel sheet that I have.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Awesome. Thank you very much for that, Ariana. Unless there are any more directors who'd like to give a report, we will go ahead and move into general orders, being the election of the Speaker of the Student Senate. So with that, I will now open the floor for nominations for Speaker of the Student Senate. If you would like to make a nomination, please just raise your placard, and then I will recognize you. Senator Lynn.
I nominate Evan Porter.
Second. All right. Evan, do you accept that nomination?
I accept.
All right. Accepting further nominations for Speaker of the Student Senate, Senator Hoffman.
I would like to nominate Speaker Blake Phillips. Second.
While I do appreciate the offer, I will not accept that offer to be Speaker. Further nominations for Speaker of the Student Senate. Andrew Booz.
I would like to nominate Reed Pearson.
I don't accept, I'll be graduating.
Thank you for that information, Reed. Awesome. Any other nominations out there for Speaker of the Student Senate? Okay, with that, I will seek a motion to close the floor for nominations for Speaker. Senator Pineda Gomez.
I move to close the floor for nominations.
Second.
All right, it has been moved and seconded to close the floor for nominations. All those in favor of closing the floor for nominations, please raise your placard at this time. All right, hands down. Nays, same sign. All right, the yeas have it. The floor for nominations will be closed. I don't need to randomize, but Evan, you are the nominee for Speaker of the Student Senate. You will have 10 minutes to give your presentation. We'll go ahead and get that pulled up, but you are free to come up to the front.
Is it cool if I stand here while I do it? Or do you want me to stand in the front? Here, do you mind? Okay, hello everybody. So for those of you I haven't had the opportunity to meet, or maybe you just missed it when we swore ourselves in, my name is Evan Porter. I'm technically a junior tomorrow, this is my second year at K-State, but next year is going to be my senior year, so I'm just going to call myself a junior. And I am from Olathe, Kansas. Up on the screen, you have a picture of me up there in the corner. Below that is my family. That fella in the middle is my incredibly tall brother-in-law. He married my sister this month last year. And then it's my brother next to him and me and my parents on the other side of my sister. And up at the top there are my two dogs. The one on my right here is Augie. He is 10 years old. We rescued him in 2012. And the other one is Tucker. He is 6 years old? No, he's 5. His birthday is in September, so he is 5 still. We rescued him in like November of 2016. Okay, moving on. Sorry. So I want to talk just a little bit about my background with Student Governing Association. So up on the screen, you can see like a little bit about like what the things I was involved in last year were. So I've been a senator for 1 term. That's the like amount of involvement that I have with SGA. But in that time, I served as obviously an Arts and Sciences student senator. I was chair of the Senate Operations Committee for part of the term for the 21-22 term. And then throughout the year, I took the opportunity to serve on a couple of other committees that we select members from within our body for. So I served on the Student Center Tuition Enhancements Committee, the Academic Competition Teams Committee, and then as a legislative requirement, the Arts and Sciences College Tuition Committee. But beyond my like background of legislative duties, I want to talk a little bit about what I would just call like my SGA journey. So I don't know the people in the room might not know this. I live with Nick. We were roommates in the dorms last year. We lived together this year. And so I got to know, I would go so far as to say that I owe my entire SGA career to Nick, because he was really heavily involved in the intern program, and he convinced me to go to one meeting. I went to that meeting and didn't necessarily want to continue going to those meetings, but later in the year he convinced me to file to run for Senate and just see what happened. So I put my name down, went to the filing meeting, didn't really do any campaigning and just kind of waited, and I ended up getting, I think, 114 votes after doing no campaigning, which I thought was pretty impressive. And as a result of that, I did not outright win a Senate seat, but I was sworn in as a result of a bunch of resignations that happen when people take other positions within the organization and have to leave Student Senate. So it was the 3rd Senate of the last term that I was sworn in as a student senator. At that time, we were still meeting in the business building because of COVID restrictions, and there's like a gigantic lecture hall there that we could meet in. So it wasn't until the first term of the fall semester, or the first meeting of the fall semester, that I got to actually have a meeting in Wildcat Chamber, which was pretty cool. And after that, I became a member of the Senate Operations Committee, which, best committee, as we all know. But yeah, part of the way through the year, unfortunately, our chair had to resign for personal reasons, and so there was a new selection process to find a chair to replace the previous chair, and I was selected to be the chair of the Senate Operations Committee. And that was maybe the best opportunity I've been afforded in my time at K-State. Being able to chair such an influential committee was a really eye-opening experience, and it taught me a lot about SGA and just all of the responsibilities that go into chairing just a small committee, but on top of that, all the responsibilities that go into being the speaker, being Blake's job. Like, there's just so many moving parts that you have to keep track of, and Blake constantly impresses me with his ability to stay on top of the ball, and I hope if you will give me your vote that I can prove to you that I will be able to be just as good as Blake. Not better, though. So moving on from that, I want to talk about 3 goals that I picked to sort of showcase what I want to, like what my vision is as speaker. So the first goal has to do with our committees and chairs. So for those of you that aren't aware, we actually have 3 brand new committees this year. We had a ton of legislation that passed last term and established 3 new committees that sort of combined responsibilities of a couple of different committees and created one entirely new committee. So one of my big goals this term is going to be to work with the chairs of specifically those 3 new committees, but the 6 committees generally, to identify areas that they think could be improved within their committees. Like, I know, speaking as the former Senate Operations Chair, I know there's a lot of legislative responsibilities that are just things that we don't do anymore that have kind of fallen by the wayside. Like, I'm required technically to deliver paper copies of all relevant documents to the university archives. I don't know how to deliver paper copies to the archives, so that is just an example of something that we could pretty easily remove from our governing documents and wouldn't really impact our day-to-day functionality at all, but would make those documents a lot conciser, a lot clearer, and easier to understand if you don't necessarily know what you're looking at. And also, something that I wish I had had an opportunity to do when I became a chair was get a little bit of like specific training and guidance about how to run a meeting. Based on like my experience watching Blake run meetings and watching the former chair of Senate Operations, Chair May, run meetings, I had a pretty good idea of what I was doing and how to go about doing that. But I want to make sure that right from the start, all of our chairs are on the same page. So I would require them to go through a meeting training and a review of Robert's Rules of Order, just to make sure that everybody understands like how to remain objective when there are voting issues and when it's like when you have to break a tie and stuff like that, and not to speak when there's an issue on the floor that you might not necessarily have to break the tie on, and going through the motions and all that kind of stuff. So those are the first two goals that I have related to committees and chairs. Next, I want to talk about the new senator onboarding. So as I mentioned briefly earlier, I was actually sworn in at the third Senate meeting of the last term. So I was invited to new senator training, but I didn't really know what the odds of me getting a Senate seat were, so I chose not to attend that. Big mistake on my part. Wish I'd gone to the new senator training. But for those of us, like, there are a lot of people in this room who got sworn in part of the way through this term, through the last term. There's no sort of formalized new senator onboarding or new senator training that we go through. It's sort of just like a sit-down conversation with the speaker where you talk through like what Senate is, sort of explain the things that are gone over at new senator training, but there's nothing formal, nothing legislated, nothing written down. So one of my goals would be to maybe not legislate a requirement for new senator onboarding, but take advantage of some of the tools available to us in our new file sharing software, Org Central, to create a sort of like module to allow people to go over like rules and procedures and what Senate exactly is. Because there were a couple cases last term where we swore people in, they went to like 1 or 2 Senate meetings and then decided like this is not at all what I thought it was going to be and ended up resigning. So one of my goals with that would be to increase recruitment and retention by giving people an opportunity to get an idea of what Senate is before they get sworn in. And if they decide like maybe this isn't what I thought it was and it's not for me, they don't have to actually resign. They can just respectfully decline the seat and we can move on and select another person rather than going through the whole process of swearing in and then having a resignation, which, speaking as Senate operations, is an extremely frustrating process because you're reaching out to people, you're not getting emails back, you're reaching out to more people, also not getting emails back. So I think this would help simplify that process and make it so that when we get people, we're getting the people that actually understand what the job is and want to be here. So this is something that I've played around with the idea of maybe requiring. I don't know how we would require it beyond like a legislated requirement. So that would just be something that I would want to pilot throughout the term and see how that goes. And if it goes well, I would want to legislate it as a requirement. But if it's something that people just aren't doing or we find isn't beneficial, then that would be something that would fall by the wayside. But it is definitely something that I want to try to implement because I think it would help a lot of those individuals that get sworn in like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe even in the case of Senator Pondillo, like 13 Senate meetings into the term or some ridiculous number like that. But yeah, so that is goal number 2. And then goal number 3 would be to implement an anti-bias training within Student Senate. So this is actually something that the judicial branch started, I believe it was our last term. Attorney General Hobbs and Deputy Attorney General Swords got together and developed an anti-bias training that they had all of their judicial branch members go through. This is something that they thought was a really good idea because it would help their members remain much more objective during meetings because they have a lot of pretty sensitive issues that come up in the types of meetings that they have going on in the judicial branch. But I think it would serve Student Senate pretty well because we have a lot of issues that come up in committee meetings or on the floor of Senate that may be affected by bias. We may be allocating money to a particular group that you have an unconscious bias against. And my goal here would be to help us identify when we have those unconscious biases present and help us learn how to not act on an unconscious bias and make them a little more conscious so we understand like that those things, like acting on a bias is not necessarily the most appropriate thing to do in every single setting. So my plan here would be to sort of pilot a program with the committee chairs and require them to go through an anti-bias training, work with the judicial branch to sort of model our program off of their program so it can be consistent across the 2 branches. And if that program goes well with the committee chairs, I would offer it but not require it for the rest of Student Senate. And hopefully the future speakers would also take their chairs through that program because I think remaining objective in our committee meetings and on the floor of Student Senate is something really important, and it like speaks to our responsibility for representing all students at Kansas State and representing them all equally. And with that, I don't have anything else on the PowerPoint, so I can take your questions now.
Alrighty, I will go ahead and open up the floor for questions. Are there any questions for Senator Porter? Senator Richenberg.
Hi, Evan. Can you describe a time you took an innovative approach to solving a problem, and what was the outcome?
Yeah, so that's an excellent question. So I'll first identify the problem there, and I'll talk about some things pretty specific to SGA. Last term, we had a pretty severe problem with getting senators for the College of Health and Human Sciences caucus. For those of you that don't know how the process works, first we look at, if we have a vacant seat within a caucus, first we look at who has the next highest amount of votes. And once we exhaust that list of people, we will ask the college council, which is a representative body elected from within a particular college. So in this case, we would ask the Health and Human Sciences College Council to appoint someone to Student Senate. Unfortunately, a lot of the college councils are just never formed correctly. And this is the case for the College of Health and Human Sciences College Council. I know Senator Salman has technically been elected to the HHS Council, but it never formally meets, it never takes any action. So beyond that, the next step would be to ask the college caucus, which is the members within Student Senate, to appoint someone. So what we did was actually have a sit-down meeting with one of the assistant deans of the College of Health and Human Sciences, and that was a really fruitful meeting for me. We had a lot of really good ideas bouncing around in there with Dean Jordan. And what we eventually settled on for our best course of action was to publish a little advertisement, I'd call it, in the College of Health and Human Sciences newsletter. And that attracted quite a few people. Senator Calaricchio was one of the individuals that emailed me. I think Senator Schundler emailed me also. And there were a couple others that unfortunately had to leave us later in the term for various reasons. But that is not a legislated way of going about doing that, but I was kind of at a loss at that point with what to do because I wanted to fill those vacant seats that had been sitting empty for several Senate meetings because I want to make sure that the representation that we are apportioned is as well represented as it can possibly be. And so I took that different non-legislated approach, which I think is pretty innovative.
I like it.
Thank you, Marta. But yeah, so that was my innovative solution. Thank you.
Further questions? Senator Bellamy.
Yeah, so I have a little bit of context here.
Yeah.
You managed a losing presidential campaign last year, is that correct?
I did, yeah.
Do you think that there's any... Oh, wait. Do you think that there's any chance that this would affect your working relationship with the student body president and vice president?
Yeah, so that's actually a really excellent question, Drew, and I appreciate you asking it because I know that I've heard that has been something that's been on some people's minds. I do want to say, right now, I have immense respect for President Volgamore and Vice President Ebeck. I think they ran an excellent campaign. And in the few weeks that I've had to work with them and cooperate with them in their transition, they've shown themselves to be really excellent leaders. They really hit the ground running. And I want to talk a little bit about something that President Volgamore mentioned, which was interbranch collaboration. So one of my general ideas that I had, which I didn't put up on the slide because it's not fleshed out enough, I don't think, is to, well, let me go back one more. So President Volgamore talked about interbranch collaboration, and that's definitely a goal of mine. I think that was something that the previous administrations did extremely well, and it was something that had been lacking in Student Governing Association for several terms. And another shared goal of ours, something that they talked a lot about in their campaign, is increasing recruitment at the university. So one idea that I had was, raise your hand if you're familiar with Boys and Girls State. Okay, that was a lot more than I thought. So for those of you that don't know, Boys and Girls State is a summer camp that's put on by the American Legion and the American Legion Auxiliary, where incoming high school seniors can go to this summer camp, and they're divided into cities, and then the cities are divided into counties, and you make up the whole state of Kansas. And it's basically like a government simulation. It's a really good opportunity for a lot of people that are interested in government to sort of get a more in-depth understanding of what it is that governance really is. So my idea would be to take President Volgamore, the incoming Attorney General, Kathleen Cowell, and myself to Boys and Girls State over the summer and sort of give a talk to them about what really governance means and what it is to have civic responsibility, and specifically through the lens of student government. I think that's a great idea, a great way to increase recruitment for the university. Boys State specifically is hosted here. Girls State's going to be at the KU, so it would not be too difficult to travel back and forth from Manhattan and Lawrence and reach several hundred high school students all at once to talk about the benefits of student government, the benefits of government generally, and try to talk up the university a little bit and maybe convince some people to enroll at K-State. But yeah, to go back to your original question, Drew, I kind of got off on a tangent there. I have no doubt in my mind that I'll be able to cooperate fully with the quote-unquote opposing campaign.
Awesome, thank you.
I'm sorry, Speaker, but you have run out of time for questions.
Time for questions has expired. Is there a motion to extend? Senator Pineda Gomez.
Move to extend the questioning time by 10 minutes.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to extend time for questions by 10 minutes. Are there any objections? Seeing none, 10 minutes will be given. Senator Kidd.
Thank you for your great speech tonight. Going back to goal number 1 that you outlined, you mentioned a small thing such as removing the requirement of taking paper documents over to the archives. Is that correct?
That was just an example, but yeah.
Right. So on that example, have you actually reached out to archives to get it from their perspective of the importance of that, or anything from their side of things?
So I didn't reach out to archives. I actually reached out to former Senate Operations Chair Andrew Booz. And in Andrew and I's conversation, he had never been contacted by archives, and he had also himself never contacted archives. Talking with Speaker Phillips, that was a requirement that he actually didn't really, correct me if I'm wrong here, Blake, that we weren't really aware was even in existence. This is something that we haven't done in many, many, many years, as far as I'm aware. And what the conclusion that Speaker Phillips and I reached was that just having those files in Org Central would be our best course of action. And a lot of the stuff was already in there. So really all I did was make sure that committee chairs and vice chairs had minutes and agendas uploaded, because all of our other legislation, all of our Senate minutes, all of our Senate agendas were already in there. So I just wanted to make sure that those other documents that were relevant to Student Senate were in Org Central, because that's where they're most easily accessible, rather than going and digging through a bunch of dusty filing cabinets.
Senator Pineda Gomez.
So in recent years, speakers have had to deal with the insufficient funds process. What previous experience with finances do you have? And if this were to happen during your tenure, what plans do you have for that situation?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, sorry, in terms of dealing with finances, I didn't ever sit on an allocations committee per se, but I did sit on the Student Center Tuition Enhancements Committee and the Academic Competition Teams Committee, which sit around and allocate a bunch of money pretty fast, which I think is the opposite of how insufficient funds work. You take away a bunch of money really fast. But in terms of that, I would make sure that whoever I select as the Student Services Fee Chair specifically is someone who is up to the challenge. I know we had an excellent Student Services Fee Chair last term who did a really great job with insufficient funds. And I have no doubt in my mind that President Volgamore would also be able to handle that challenge. So I think between myself, whoever I would select as the Student Services Fee Chair, and President Volgamore, we would be more than capable to handle any round of insufficient funds. And based on rumblings that I've been hearing, we're going to have maybe slightly less of a decrease in enrollment than we've had in the past. And to throw back to Vice President Koger's snake analogy, the way that enrollment works, where you're pretty top heavy and you have a couple graduating classes, I think we're looking at having a pretty solid incoming freshman class that might mean we don't have as massive amount of insufficient funds next term. But thank you for that question.
Senator DePaz.
Yeah, so I just wanted to get your take on what do you think would be the best way to reach out to the diversity and how we can diversify SGA. What's your take on that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for those of you that might not have heard that, Senator DePaz was asking what the best way to reach out to diverse individuals on campus is. Oh, this mic might be dying, sorry. And the best way to diversify SGA. And I think that's a really excellent question. And I want to talk a little bit about the newly reconfigured Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. In DEI now, there's going to be a lot more emphasis on focusing on diversity specifically, because we now have the Diversity Programming Committee, sorry, I always do that. The Diversity Programming Committee's funding is now within the DEI committee, and as a result of that, we legislated that members from multicultural student organizations on campus there are seats available to them in the DEI committee. So just by that, I think we'll have an increase in the number of diverse individuals within Student Governing Association. But going further than that, once we have those individuals on the committee, they'll get a more insider look at what it is that we do in SGA. And working with the other multicultural student organizations and the MSOs that those individuals that are going to be on DEI come from, I think that gives us a really great pathway into the multicultural student voice on campus. And I think that would be perhaps our best way to reach out to those students. Additionally, just sending representatives when those MSOs have meetings. I know that's something that a lot of student organizations accept as like solicitations. So I think sending solicitors from Student Senate to talk about like our experience, what it is we do, and the benefits of like being a member of SGA, I think is a really excellent way to reach a more diverse group of people on campus.
Senator Shearer.
Hi. Do you have to defer your speaking rights for questions, or can that anyone else just ask questions?
Yes, you'll have to defer it for questions.
I'd love to defer my speaking rights to Mandy.
So, do you plan on making the multicultural organizations sit on the DEI committee or something like that? Because you just mentioned it.
Yeah, so what the what the legislated change was last semester is that within the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, now that they have the diversity programming money, there are spots available to specifically multicultural student organization students. So you have to be a member of an MSO to hold that. Am I incorrect here, or am I correct, Nick? Okay, so what Nick said, they are appointed by the Department of Multicultural Student Affairs. So more likely than not, they would come from within the multicultural student organizations because those are already pretty engaged students on campus. So as far as requiring them, I don't think we can require anyone to sit on a committee, but those seats are available for them. So if there are students willing to help serve on DEI, we would be more than happy to let them fill those seats that are reserved for them.
Any further questions out there? Senator Heatherman.
In recent years, legislative branch leadership has been focused largely on organizational improvements to SGA itself. What do you plan to do as speaker to respond to student needs, foster student engagement, and enhance the student experience?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So as far as fostering student engagement, I think going back to what I was saying about sending representatives out to Boys and Girls State is just one way that we can get some future students engaged with the organization. But to talk about students that are already on campus, I think, and I think there are some of you in the room that agree with me, that SGA kind of has a reputation of being pretty stuffy, and that we are like the annoying people that you have to come to get money. And I think that there are a lot of things that we can do to prove to students on campus that that is not the case. Like Communications Director Gomez said earlier when we did our brews. We have to prove to people that SGA is fun. I think SGA is fun, and I think a lot of you think SGA is fun since you're here. So I think just making sure that we're active on our social media and that engagement with student organizations remains high, and that we don't just have our Senate meetings every Thursday at 7 and our committee meetings Monday or Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then call it at that. I think having more opportunities for members of Student Senate to reach out to student organizations, go to student organizations meetings. I think speaking to a little bit of what President Volgamore and Vice President Ebeck want to do, engaging more with Greek life, sending representatives from Student Governing Association to Greek life to talk about what it is that we do and what the opportunities are, not just within Student Senate, but within the executive branch and the judicial branch as well. Just letting people know that there are tons and tons of positions available. And when we open our at-large committee member applications, making sure that that reaches as many students on campus as possible, because as a lot of us know, a lot of those at-large seats end up getting filled by people from within the organization, which is fine. But I think we would be much better served if we can fill those at-large committee member seats from people outside the organization. If we get as many new and fresh perspectives from as many students across the tens of thousands that go here, I think that just increases our ability to govern and represent all students even more than we already do.
Senator Shearer.
Hi. So I know you've already mentioned a little bit about recruitment and retention for the university. Could you expand on that just a little bit?
Ooh, tricky one. So expanding a little bit on recruitment and retention for the university. So something that the branch leadership did last year was attend a conference of all of the, or a lot of the student councils within the state of Kansas. Yeah. The Frontier League. I didn't do student government in high school, so I'm not totally sure, but that is a pretty big percentage of a lot of the student councils from within the state. So I think like going to meetings like that, like Boys State and the Frontier League Student Council meeting, where we can reach high school students is the best possible way to do that, to increase recruitment and retention for the university. Beyond going to meetings of individuals that are interested in specifically student government, just making sure that like our tour guides are up to the task, as it were, and like maybe making sure that like when people go out to high schools, like when we have our advisors and counselors go to high schools to meet with specific students, that they have the most up-to-date information about the student organizations that are available on campus. I think that was one of the big things that drew me to K-State, was the figure that they throw at us, that there's like 500 plus student organizations on campus. That's pretty impressive, and I think you hear that number, and then when you get to the university, you don't really engage with the student organizations. So finding a way to get incoming students to engage with the hundreds of student organizations that we have, I think is a good way to increase retention, because when you join an organization and build a community of people around you, you're more likely to stay at the university. And I think the new freshman requirement for housing and dining is going to increase retention a lot, because there's myriad studies out there that say living on campus increases your likelihood to stay in college and stay at the same university. And now that we have a pretty convenient place to reach all the freshmen, making sure that we are keeping up-to-date information on the dorm bulletin boards about opportunities within SGA and the intern program specifically, talking about like recruitment for the organization. I think that's a great tool that we have at our disposal to reach students, just making sure the RAs have some information about the organization, so if they do have a question, they can answer it or direct the individual to the correct person within our organization. And yeah, I kind of got off topic there, but I have a lot of ideas. It's just hard to focus.
Awesome. Further questions, Senator Brown?
I apologize, Senator, but the time for questions has expired.
All right. Senator Compton, I see you.
Move to extend the time for questions by 5 minutes.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to extend time for questions by 5 minutes. Are there any objections? Seeing none, Senator Brown.
Speaking as a member of Greek life on campus, I'm just wondering, because that new bill does affect Greek life, so you're going to either be in a dorm or in a Greek house, what ideas do you have to better communicate with Greek life overall to fill those member at large positions?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So going back to what I was saying earlier, I think soliciting during chapter meetings is our most effective tool available to us, because I hold the opinion that like peer-to-peer communication is the best way to convince someone to do something. Like you can put a flyer up and like hope that someone looks at it, but like standing in front of an individual and talking directly to them is the best way to get them to listen to you and hear what you're saying. So when it comes time for the at-large committee member application to come out, and when the intern program gets kicked off in the fall, I think going to the dorms and going to Greek houses as well, and like talking to people, anyone that is interested in having a conversation with us, is going to be probably our most effective way to convince people that this is an interesting and fun organization to join.
All right. Are there any further questions out there for Senator Porter? Senator Navarro.
I'd like to give my speaking rights to Mr. Austin Rook. Cool. Okay. So in my experience at SGA, sometimes the culture can be very toxic and a little hostile. I think everyone in this room has probably experienced that to some extent. Do you have a plan to fix this problem in the upcoming term?
Okay. I will be honest, Austin, I was not expecting that question. In my experience, I think SGA has been an extremely welcoming environment, but for those of you out there that think that the culture is pretty toxic, I would encourage you to just come have a conversation with any of our branch leadership, whether it's me or President Volgamore or Vice President Eback. I don't want to volunteer them, but I know they'd be willing to have a conversation. If you want that to remain confidential, absolutely, but we can't solve a problem until we know what the problem is. So just make sure that you make it clear to the people that have the ability to change the culture that there is a problem. And if you see a problem, do whatever you can to make the person feel welcome. Like if you hear from someone that they're not feeling welcome, or if you see something happening that you would categorize as toxic behavior, I would put it in your hands as well to do what you can to change the culture and improve the culture, because we're all here working together and we can't collaborate and cooperate effectively if there's like unsung problems. So yeah, just reach out to someone, because like I said, we can't solve the problems if we don't know what the problems are. But that's what I would say to fixing a toxic culture.
Senator Pondillo.
So throughout my time in SGA, in the intern program, and being a senator for like the past month, I feel as if SGA is very cliquish, and I feel like that might deter diverse individuals into joining that. How would you as speaker combat that?
Yeah, so as far as combating cliques go, Blake and Nick mentioned earlier during new senator training, they like asked everyone to get up and sit next to someone that you don't know. I would, okay, don't get mad at me for this, but I had been planning on, for the first few senates, assigning seats so that you are sitting next to someone that you don't know. Some of my, I knew that was gonna get a boo.
Well, you didn't put that in your PowerPoint.
That's because it was a secret, Marta. Anyway, I know that I could walk up to any individual in this room and strike up a conversation. I have no problem talking to any of you in here because I think we're all very like-minded individuals. We're all here to serve students and we have some goals in common. And the way to find those common goals is to just talk to people. And the way to break up those cliques is to make sure that you're not sitting next to the same person every single week. So at least for the first maybe Senate or two, I would want to switch some seats up because maybe there's someone in here that's going to be your best friend in the future or will be be invited to your wedding or something like that. I don't know. But you won't find that out unless you get to have a conversation with that person. So I would just want to make sure that we have an environment in which those conversations are happening. And the best way that I see to do that is to sort of mix you all up and make sure that you're not just sitting with your caucus or just sitting with your friends. I know that's kind of a stinky idea, and I would be upset if Blake did it, but I do genuinely think that I do genuinely think that it's a good idea, and it's a great way to get some of our new members to know some of our older members, and vice versa, and maybe our older members that don't know each other or have never had a conversation. I think that's just a great way to increase engagement within the organization as well. And inviting the other branches to come and just sit in on Senate meetings, I think is a great way too. I know that there's a lot of cabinet members here a lot of the time. That's a great way for the executive branch to sort of get to know those of us in the legislative branch. And I know that they're usually engaged at this time on Thursday, but occasionally we'll have the Attorney General and Deputy Attorney General here, and any of their other judicial branch members who want to come to Senate are more than welcome to come to Senate. But just making that clear as well to sort of make the whole organization less segmented and less cliquish, as you say.
Senator Pineda Gomez.
Yeah, thank you, Evan. So kind of to expand on a previous question, my time in SGA has been amazing. I think that we have amazing people here. I'm really glad that we got a bunch of new people. And I think you would agree with me when I say that the previous speaker and Speaker Pro Tempore have done a great job of being super friendly and open and making sure that there's no dumb questions allowed. At the same time, coming out of my first year, I would say that oftentimes as a first-year senator, you don't want to say something or don't want to ask a question, right? Because you fear that there are much smarter people in the room than you, right? Just to throw an example out, Max, love you, man. I was terrified of
That's fair.
But how will you as a speaker contribute to that environment of openness and inclusivity in the future? Because while we can't deal with problems if we don't recognize them, we can certainly be proactive. My question is, how will you do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. To start off, I think I would emulate a lot of what the current speaker and Speaker Pro Tempore have done. For example, they are most days in their office all day except for when they're in class. So just making sure that people know that the office door is always open and that they can come chat about any problem at any time. If they want to get a piece of legislation off the ground but they don't know how to go about doing it, they can always come and chat with myself. I have some experience writing legislation, or I know whoever gets elected as the pro tempore would be willing to just have a conversation as well. But yeah, if you have an idea or you want to just sit down and talk about more ways that you can get involved in SGA, my door will always be open. My inbox will always be open. I'll always respond to a call or a text. But speaking more to your question about in the context of Senate, just making sure that if someone wants to be recognized, they will get recognized, and not just no offense to those of us that sit in the first two rows, but not just calling on the placards in the first two rows, but making sure that if there's someone in the back of the room, that they get the chance to speak, and encouraging everyone that hasn't ever given debate. I know we're always super supportive whenever someone gives debate for the first time, If you're nervous about getting up in front of Senate and speaking, don't be. I've definitely put my foot in my mouth more than one times in front of this body, and I know no one's judging me for slipping up and misspeaking. But yeah, if I just want to sort of quell those feelings right now, if I can, by saying that this is an extremely accepting group of people. I know that a lot of us are not going to be judgmental in the way that people are afraid of being judged, if that makes sense. Like, don't worry about sounding stupid, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because there's definitely been a dumber question before yours.
Senator Shearer.
I'm just gonna defer my speaking rights to me.
In regards to the questions about recruitment and retention, have it crossed your mind to work with Tammy Byland, the Executive Director of ORA, to collaborate on how to make that goal of yours come to life more? Because I know that within the past term that the tour guides and everyone in that office got an updated stuff on what's going on campus, because I worked on that. So how do you plan on continuing that goal?
Yeah, so I haven't had the pleasure of meeting the director of ORA yet, but I'm sure they would be more than willing to sit down and have a conversation with me. And once that introduction and that connection is made, I would strive to continue that relationship between SGA and the Office of Recruitment and Retention, and just sort of get some more knowledge about the program that you're speaking to, and make sure that that program gets continued throughout the term, and that the type of information that Recruitment and Retention wants to have in their tours, making sure that that information is provided to them whenever they need it or whenever they request it. But yeah, I would just do whatever I could. Once I have a little bit more knowledge about what you're speaking to, I would do whatever I could to make sure that that program is continued.
Would someone like to refer their speaking rights
I'm
to?
still the chief of staff for another week.
Excuse me, I apologize, but time has expired once again.
Senator Richenberg.
No.
Is there a motion to extend time for questions? Senator Grolmes.
I move to extend the questioning time for 5 minutes.
I object.
Objection. Alrighty, so we will go ahead and move into a hand vote on extending time for questions. All those in favor of extending time for questions by 5 minutes, please raise your placard at this time. Proxies, you can vote with 2 hands.
And Zoom, don't forget to vote.
Yes.
You want to extend time.
Yes, if you would like to extend time for questions by 5 minutes, please raise your hand at this time. Okay, hands down. All those opposed, same sign. Alrighty, the nays have it. Time for questions will not be extended. So with that, thank you very much, Evan, for your questioning period. Evan, if you would go ahead and step out of the room and just hang out in like CSI, we will come and get you once speeches are done. Alrighty, so we will now enter a time for speeches. With that, I will seek speeches for Evan Porter at this time. Senator Salman.
All right. Hello, everyone. So, and this is very specific, I have known Evan for exactly 8 years, 7 months, 1 week, 4 days, 9 hours, and 55 minutes as of this time. I would like to speak today on 3 main points as it relates to Evan and the speakership. First is on our friendship as it relates to both just our personal friendship and professional relationship. Secondly, his character, both as a leader and also just as an individual. And finally, on what your expectations should be for him as speaker. So first, our friendship started in 6th grade. I think we met in like second hour, don't remember what it was. But we developed a friendship over just similar interests on a variety of topics. We were also in Quest together, which was interesting, and we got to work on what is called Future Cities, which is essentially building a very large city out of recycled materials, and it was a whole lot of fun. Over the course of those 2 years, I got to meet him more, kind of understand who he was, and like we became really good friends through that process. I also remember at some point I invited him to go to a car show at Bartle Hall in Kansas City, and for the 4 or 5 hours we were there, we were commenting on like how appropriate the prices were, discussing like the financial capacity of both of us who were like 14 of buying these cars, and also like clambering through all the different SUVs and just like opening up all the different compartments for fun. We probably shouldn't have been, but it's fine. And then I also got the opportunity in high school, or in middle school, apologies, to go on both a DC and New York trip with him. It was like a school trip, and we got to go to different plays, museums, and it was a lot of fun to get to hang out with him there. I think the most prominent time where him and I really interacted was during debate and forensics back in high school. We did that for 4 years together, and it was a lot of fun to not only like learn more from him and him learn more from me, but just like getting to interact and like exist in that culture that we both enjoyed a lot, which I think is a good reason for why both of us are in here today. He has always been a person who I could just talk to about quite literally anything, whether it be simple things like cars or houses or video games or education, up to very complex topics such as politics, international affairs, like technology, and a variety of other things that we both enjoy discussing. And so I hope that gives you insight into kind of just Evan as a person. I really enjoyed being his friend over the course of these past 8 years, and like I think he would do an extraordinary job making those relationships with all of you if you gave him the time to do so. The second thing I would like to talk on is his character as an individual, both as just an individual, student and person, and also as a leader. Evan may seem imposing, like at first as an individual. Obviously, he knows a lot about student government, and he is very confident in his speaking, but I think that is because he cares about doing something, and he cares about doing something well whenever he commits to it, regardless of the context. I think one good example is Future Cities. During those 2 years, we had a variety of complications with our projects, but he was very committed to not only doing that job, but doing it well, and we strive through those different experiences. Debate and forensics is another example. He was absolutely extraordinary, not only in the debate side of like policy debate, doing different things like that, but in Congress, in extemp, and other events in forensics. And then finally, he was Senate Ops Chair this last year, and he came in during a time when the last Senate Ops Chair had to leave for various reasons, and he's done an extraordinary job in my opinion. He talked about that, and I'm hoping other speakers will talk about it as well, but he is someone who fits this role. I think the 3 things I can promise you with him is, 1, he will keep you accountable. I think he does that very well, and it's very intentional, but he's also going to support you in that process. He cares very much about this body and the responsibilities that have been given to it, and he cares very much about all of you as individuals who are striving towards your own passions and your own interests. And so I think he would do a great job as speaker in that capacity. And finally, what should your expectations be for Evan Porter as Speaker of Student Senate? I think the 3 main things is, 1, expertise and support. In his role as Senate Operations Chair, he gained an immense amount of knowledge and expertise in how to run the more managerial side of Student Governing Association and specifically Student Senate, and that would translate extraordinarily well to the position of Speaker. Second is accountability and transparency. Once again, I reiterate that he will keep you accountable and he will keep himself accountable as well, but he's also going to be very transparent in that process to ensure that every single person knows they belong here, but also know like what should be happening and what is going to happen. And finally is passion and perseverance. Evan wouldn't be running for this position if he didn't care about it. I think that's obvious, but once again, whenever he does something that he genuinely cares about, he will persevere through any of the problems that come up. And so I think that those like 6 traits are extraordinarily representative of what the speaker's role is, and I think that will make him someone who is amazing for this position. So yeah, I have now known Evan for exactly 8 years, 7 months, 1 week, 4 days, 9 hours, and 59 minutes. And it has been an honor to talk about why I think he is qualified for this position and to help you better understand who he is as a person and how he will make those relationships with you. He is genuinely one of the most extraordinary individuals I've met, including all the other individuals I've gotten to meet through Student Governing Association. And I look forward to you getting all to know him better, not only just as a friend and as an individual, but also as your Speaker of the Student Senate. Thank you.
Thank you for your debate, RJ. I will seek further speeches for Evan Porter, Senator Lynn.
Okay, hi everybody. Evan Porter did not start out in the intern program with all of the rest of his friends sitting in the front couple rows from our class. In fact, I met Evan the first time at work when he came through the Starbucks drive-thru and asked me for some ridiculous drink. He looked at me and he was like, "Hey, you're Peyton Lynn, aren't you?" And you all have no idea how weird it is for somebody that you do not know to say your full name in the Starbucks drive-thru. But from that moment, I felt like I had truly made a friend. Like I said earlier, Evan didn't go through the SGA intern program with all of us. And at the beginning of last term, he didn't get a Senate seat right away. And after he was sworn in, he wasn't in a leadership position. In this organization, I think it is especially important to not let the work you do be defined by the position that you have. Year after year, we see that our members with no fancy titles or leadership positions are the ones that can make the biggest impact. Evan is somebody who began his SGA career a year ago and didn't have a single one of those fancy titles or positions in the organization. He proceeded to take his role and not just fulfill it, but exceed all expectations from his original job as a senator. He joined more committees than he was required to. He wrote several pieces of legislation. He debated passionately on behalf of our student body. And then when the chair of the Senate Operations Committee resigned, Evan ran and was chosen as the new chair of the committee. Not only did he take this unexpected role in stride, he ran a committee that was particularly effective over the last several months. Evan has more than enough experience fully in the thick of our legislative duties. He's the one individual that I can think of that has the knowledge, skills, and experience that is necessary for this role. He has an extensive understanding of the legislative process, parliamentary procedure, and the command of a room that he's going to need to serve this body. However, where I think some of Evan's most important strengths lie is within his capacity to work with the people around him. Since we met, Evan has been nothing less than an amazing and dedicated friend who's been there to listen to my frustrations, anxieties, and fears in what have been some of my life's most difficult moments. But I understand that not everyone in this room has that same personal relationship. Even if you feel as if you aren't as close or don't have any sort of established relationship with Evan, I am confident that he is more than happy to work with every single person in this room. If I can find a friend in the random guy that recognized me in my work's drive-thru, I know that you can find a friend in the man that's running to serve this body. He is someone that will put his personal prejudice and opinion aside because at the end of the day, he knows that we are all here for the same reasons, to serve students. And there is no one I know who can serve students as well as Evan in this role.
Thank you for your debate, Peyton. Senator Heatherman.
I just wanted to say really quick that as I was sitting there in the back row, I've never sat in the very back row in the middle before, so it's been kind of fun. But I just wanted to say that I started to feel all like the negativity of the week and how exhausted I am, like start running through me. And I was like, why are we even speaking at this point? Evan's the next speaker. We all know that. However, if you run a presidential campaign, you have an Instagram to go back and look at when it's hard. If you run for speaker when it sucks and you feel like nobody in Senate likes you, you have the live stream to go back and watch and remember when somebody believed in you enough to get up and speak for you. So I think that if you prepared a speech for Evan tonight, don't feel discouraged from the energy of the body from getting up and sharing those kind remarks. So that's all I had to say. I also think Evan will make a great speaker.
Thank you for your debate, Hannah. Are there any further speakers out there tonight for Evan Porter? Andrew Booz.
So, this is not quite a speech for Evan Porter, and it may give people Hey, something to respond to. If you don't know me, my name is Andrew Boos. I am from Olathe, Kansas. I'm actually from the same high school Evan is. And let me say it up front that I think that Evan would be a great speaker. I think he has the skills and chops to pull it off. From when I met him in debate in high school, he's been able to do that. And that's important to say. But the second thing is, throughout my career in student government, I was actually the Senate Operations Chair for 2 years, not before Chair May, who was before Chair Porter. And I've always seen it as really important for us to have some sort of choice. And sadly, I'm graduating, so I couldn't run. But I think it is important for us to know that there is a choice here. That it is possible for you to vote no if you have issues with Senator Porter, and that this is your choice. I don't have a vote, to be clear. I'm speaking, on my other credentials, not as a student senator, because again, I'm graduating, and so that's what I want to leave behind. So that is your choice, not mine. But I did want to come up and make some comments about Evan and about the specifics of his platforms and that sort of thing. I think one of the things that does disconcert me about Evan has been his support for removing some provisions of our Constitution that I think were important. One of which is the previous speaker's position. It is the administrator positions. He debated in favor of removing those and of removing some other, the ratification requirement for constitutional amendments that we have here in Student Senate. And especially with the first one, I made a speech which was, you don't get more engagement, you don't get more people involved by removing the requirements that we go out and reach out to other people. And those did fail, but they got a majority because of our constitutional requirement that they get a 3/4 majority, and it didn't get to there. And so, I think it's important to have a spirit of, we're reaching out in all ways, not just the ways that are, going to other events, which are amazing, don't get me wrong, and I think we should do those. But we should also keep some of our requirements that are the ones that require us to engage. And if we get rid of those, we will turn even more insular than we are as a body. And so, I think it's important to engage in all ways. And I think, in the past, Evan supported things that would have gotten rid of those requirements that we have. And so, I want to say that Evan would make a great speaker. He would complete the requirements very, very well. But I think that there are concerns that I have, and if you share those concerns, there are other options. Thank you.
Thank you for your debate, Andrew. I will now seek further speeches. Senator Navarro.
Hello. I have a cracked phone screen, and when I was growing up, I broke my iPod Touch 3 times. Yet, Evan Porter, this fantastic human being, who I met on a Model UN trip to Chicago, my laptop has stopped working for reasons that I thought were, not really needed, or I thought that it had broken on its own, and I probably broke it. Yet, this man, Evan Porter, gave me his iPad. No case on the iPad. He wasn't even sure what type of man I was. He met me 3 days before that. But he gave me his iPad, because that's the type of man that Evan Porter is. He gives his iPad to strangers that need it to take notes, to pass notes, and to send emails. And that was a really nice thing that he did. And I just couldn't let that not be said, because, testament to his character, I suppose. Thank you.
Thank you for your debate, Andrew. Are there any further speeches for Evan Porter? Seeing none, with that, debate is now exhausted. So at this point in time, we will invite Evan back into the room. We will still be doing a vote tonight, and I am going to be sending out that link here in just a second. So Kelly, if you wouldn't mind going and getting Evan, I just sent that email. Please, someone let me know when you receive that email. Senator Compton.
Point of information, I haven't touched up on the bylaws for this specifically. Since there is one candidate, is it possible for this candidate to lose? Just out of curiosity more than anything.
If this candidate were to get one vote, they would win the office.
Okay.
That is how the vote works. Alrighty, so you all did receive that link, correct? Cool. So go ahead. I am going to give us I'll give us till 9 o'clock in order to fill out those votes. Please cast your ballots at this time. Really quick, if you are a proxy tonight, you are allowed to vote for your proxy. Please put their name and then put in parentheses proxy next to it, if you'd be willing to do that.
I know, I didn't vote for him. I just kind of forgot, so it worked out anyways.
Yes, thank you, Senator Heatherman.
I'm not on the SGA listserv, so I've never seen the ballot.
That was fatal.
All right, Hannah, that's being sent your way. If anyone else didn't get it, please let me know. I don't have an email group created because I want the next speaker to be the owner of that email group. And if I created it, I would be the owner of it, which is why I'm not operating on a listserv. But if you didn't get it, please let me know. All right. Quick check really quick. Is there anyone who is still trying to vote that has not gotten the opportunity to vote? All righty. With that, I am pleased to announce that the next speaker of the Student Senate will be Mr. Evan Porter. Alrighty, I will go ahead and administer the oath of office. Evan, if you will raise your right hand and say "I will" at the end. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Speaker of the Student Senate and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association.
I will.
Congratulations, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, be humble. Goodbye. Here. He comes next to me, Blake.
Bye, Blake. Bye, Blake.
Okay, and with that, we will now be moving into second open period. Are there any speakers for second open period at this time? Former Vice President Koger.
I'm really sorry, guys.
Don't run.
You're right. As you all know, I hate inefficiency, so I will try and go really fast. You might recall earlier in the year we were trying to set up a kickball game with the collegiate. That's not happening. Bailey Britton was my communication with that. She is left and now works for the rec services. And for a while, they've been working on a partnership with student government pertaining to Mario Scooter and Link, and they're looking for people to help out if possible. That's going to be on Saturday, April 2nd from 2 to 4 at the rec center. And they're going to be doing Saturday, April 2nd, 2 to 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. They're going to be doing fun games such as the Mario Kart racing, which is just Link scooters. Well, actually super pedestrian going forward, merger. But they're also going to be having minute-to-win-it games, such as a tennis racket relay, beanbag toss, ping pong bounce, or water balloon toss. Really love for you guys to help. I'll be communicating with the speaker to have the sign-up link if you'd like to volunteer. It's a great opportunity for some community service and get to know some folks down at the rec. I'll be out of town that weekend, so I'm sorry I'm not volunteering, but I stand for questions.
Yeah, are there any questions for former Vice President Koger? Senator Bannister.
Do you know if we're allowed to throw things such as bananas like during this, or is this just like a race and
There will be no bananas, no blue shells, no red shells, no green shells, but there will be the bullet. and the star power.
Any further questions for former Vice President Koger? Okay, seeing none, you may take your seat. Are there any further speakers for second open period? Chief of Staff Billman.
All right, hi everyone, this is gonna be quick. My name is Maggie Billman, for those of you who I haven't had the pleasure to meet. I'm the outgoing Chief of Staff, and you can forget me immediately after this because I will be old and irrelevant. So the reason I am up here, Dr. Thomas Lane, our Vice President for Student Life and Dean of Students, reached out to us and asked us to gather a group of SGA folks together, approximately 20 or 30, to attend a super important, but not as cool as Mario Kart part open forum on Monday, April 11th at 3:00 p.m. in the Cottonwood Room, which is upstairs here in the Union. This open forum is regarding K-State's accreditation status. The Higher Learning Commission will be visiting us to sort of go over our accreditation status. And it's really important that we have good student turnout at this open forum in order to prove to them all of the sick, nasty things that we do here at K-State. If you are interested in going to that, please do join the GroupMe that I created. It's called Accreditation Awesomeness, and I will be sending more information there. But really, this GroupMe will just serve as like a list of students who are interested in going so that we can show Dr. Lane that we'll have really stellar SGA turnout there. Appreciate your attendance and participation in advance for that. And if you attend, I will personally be giving you a high five, a fist bump, or a hug of your choice. Yeah. No, not all. Sorry. Again, just want to remind you that in order to make me old and irrelevant, somebody has to take my spot. And that application, as President Vogelmoor said, closes tonight at midnight. If for some reason you are minorly interested but don't know a ton about the position, I'll be sticking around just a tad afterwards if you want to come talk to me about it. If you're a little nerve about the interview process, I'm also happy to help you through that. Another thing, as we selected our speaker tonight, we'll also select our speaker pro tem next week. I served as that a couple years ago before pro tem Saya. So if you have any questions about that process, hit me up as well. Really appreciate you guys, and it's been an honor to serve next to you. Maggie out.
No!
Are there any further speakers?
Yes.
Senator Gomez.
Hi, my name is Rachel Gromas. I am, I guess, the comms director and a senator right now. Everyone indulge me for a second. You don't have to participate, but I would just ask that you listen, keep an open mind, and then if you choose not to participate, just be silent so other people can fully participate if they choose to. And I'll be quick. Sometimes I think like in this body, we're just constantly doing something, and so we don't really get a time to just like pause and reflect. And I think this being the first Senate of this term, we have like this opportunity right now. I just want to ask everyone to take like a few seconds, like honestly just 30 seconds, and write down an intention that you have for the term. So it can be a goal or it can be a word, maybe a value that you have that you want to carry with you throughout your term. It can even be silly. I just want people to reflect on maybe if you have served before, reflect on your time and maybe think about something that you want to do or your time today and kind of take that experience and see what you want to do in the future. So call me cheesy, I am, that's fine. But yeah, I just think that it's a great time to pause and reflect and plan for the future. So please do that if you'd like. I'm gonna stand here and make sure that y'all have time to do it for 20 seconds. I'm gonna count in my head, it'll be fast.
Yeah.
All right, 20 seconds up, thanks.
That's a fast 20 seconds.
Thank you, Senator Gomez. Are there any further open period speakers? Senator Grills.
I will not be running for efficiency.
Okay, guys, so I made a group chat so we could all have a group chat this year, just casual, unofficial. Yeah, I'll email it out in like 10 seconds. That's all I have.
Thank you, Senator Grills.
Is it that one?
No.
No,
That is different.
accreditation.
That is different.
Wait, what is that?
What is that?
And if you don't get an email from me in like 30 seconds, just turn to your neighbor. I'm sure they got it.
Are there any further second open period speakers? President Vogelmoor.
I would just like to request that the speaker formally introduce himself, specifically with your favorite smell. We've not had the opportunity to do that.
Very smart.
What about when he was?
It's okay. I'll do it again.
Unless your favorite smell has changed in the last hour.
Yeah. So I'm Evan, for those of you that don't know. My favorite smell has not changed. It is still coffee. Thank you. Are there any further second open period speakers? Student Organization President Booze.
Yeah, so Blake mentioned it earlier today, but I wanted to come up and plug the Open Alternative Textbook Initiative one more time. This initiative, if you didn't know, is actually gives grants to professors to write open textbooks, which means that you can go from having a proprietary textbook that it costs $100 or more to purchase to having grants that are given from donors to the university. And then if they want to, a $10 course fee at maximum. And so that's really helpful to students. That's been one of the things that I really cared about while in SGA. And so I'd love to get more people involved in it as I leave. So that kind of review for picking up, which grants to give out to which professors is on April 20th from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. And if you're interested, I believe, you should be able to contact Evan. I'll get the details to him, or contact me. I'm awbooze, B-O-O-Z-E, at ksu.edu.
Are there any questions for Student Organization President Booze? All right, seeing none, you can take your seat. Thank you. Are there any further second open period speakers? All right, seeing none, Pro Tempore Saya will take it away with Senate shoutouts.
Thanks so much, Evan. First on the shoutouts, I heart Senate shoutouts. Senator Gromez and President Linton is the crossover event I didn't know I wanted. Drew really does look like every Midwestern homeroom teacher dad. Marcus, student today, tomorrow, and forever. To Speaker Phillips for going in deep with the loan sharks to get us fancy pins. To Blake, get me my money. Shout out to Blake, Nick, and Ariana, and all of the other Senate leaders for an amazing year of service to our body. You all are so amazing, and we are so thankful for all of your hard work. Shout out to Speaker Porter for nearly losing an unopposed election for the sake of assigned seats. Shout out to Marta for wearing her Jackie Kennedy fit. Kroger, there will be the bullet. Maggie Billman is so cool. I prefer to be addressed as Senator Slim Jim. And finally, Marta, there's an unidentified party in the room that would like to ask for your hand in marriage.
We're starting this again? That's fine. Screw my boyfriend. Don't tell him that, though.
We have that on record. He's not gonna watch this. Are you kidding me?
One more. Shout out to Tatiana Rogers for being a woman in STEM.
Okay, and with that, Pro Tempore Sai will take us into second roll call. Take it away, Nick.
Thanks so much, Evan. Alrighty. Anderson.
Here.
Atchison.
Here.
Bannister.
Pass.
Barron. Bellamy.
Here.
Bratton.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Byrne. Compton.
Here.
Cranford. Davidson.
Here.
DePaz. Dole.
Here.
Getz.
Here.
Grills.
Here.
Grolmez.
Here.
Heatherman.
Here.
Hoffman. Johnson.
Here.
Calaricchio.
Here.
Kidd.
Here.
Lister. Long.
Here.
Lynn.
Here.
Middaugh.
Here.
Murphy.
Here.
Navarro.
Here.
Owry.
Here.
Pelton.
Here.
Pineda Gomez.
Here.
Pondillo.
Here.
Porter. Never mind. Richenberg. Rogers. Roth.
Here.
Salman. Shearer. Alexa. Carson. Schindler. Stout. Talbert. Volgamore. Wolfe. Alrighty, thanks so much, everyone.
All right, and with that, I will be seeking a motion for adjournment. Senator Lang.
I move to adjourn Student Senate until next week, same time, same place.
It has been moved and seconded to adjourn until next week, same time, same place, and we stand adjourned at 9:15. Also, everybody that